Hey devs, back again with another 2-minute Tools and Tips Tuesday. Today we're going to look at how you can mark an object while debugging within IntelliJ or Android Studio. Okay, so let's imagine that we are in our code and we want to do a little bit of debugging. So let's imagine we set a breakpoint here and we want to look at this user object that's getting used within this loop. So if we hit a breakpoint and then we start to execute this within the debugging session, we can see here that in our variables, we have this user object each time. And as we are stepping through this, we see that each frame, we are again seeing this user object. Now, how do we know if this is the same user object each time, especially if we start to cross boundaries? Let's say we want to actually step into this get user ID function. How do we check whether this is the same user object or not? Well, if you're familiar with debugging through some code like this, you'll probably recognize that if you highlight the variable, it usually will give the class name and then some numeric value as to that object allocation. So in this case, we see user at 450. And if we go back through again, if we highlight this once again, we see again user at 450. So you can use this to keep track of these objects. However, if you are in a larger code base and you're doing a much deeper debugging session across a variety of classes and parts of the application, sometimes that numerical description is not very useful. So one thing we can do here is to double click on that variable and click Mark Object. This brings up a window here asking us to select an object label. So in this case, perhaps I'll label it with the name of the values set to that object. If I then hit OK, we'll now see that the label has changed down in the variable window here. And again, if we step into the getUserID function, we'll now see that this object is also labeled with that nateable label. So you see this will persist across frames as you're stepping into and out of functions. And so this is really useful when doing a deep debugging session and validating that certain objects are in fact the same and aren't creating new instances with maybe just the same values. If you think that this is going to help you when debugging, give the video a like. And if you want to stay up to date on all the future tools and tips, you can hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, devs.